Hey guys, welcome back to Prestige Catfish. And today we're going to get into our second episode of the series entitled Shifting into the Right Gear and looking at your different catfish gear so you can become a successful catfisherman. And today's episode is called Getting Your Weight Up, okay? So what we're going to do today is look at the different options we have for weights while you're catfishing. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the first weight we have is just right here. And what this is your normal disc weight, okay? And what that weight is good for, see how flat it is? So what that weight is good for is if you're fishing in an environment or that has a lot of current, whether you're fishing a dam that's open, the spillway may be open, or you're fishing a river, or you're fishing a flooded area of a lake that has a current coming through it that's pretty strong. What these weights are designed to do is to get down in the water and they're pretty flat so they don't roll. So once they get down and get on and lay flat, your line won't move. Unlike when you have other types of weights that actually roll with the current and you see your line moving, these are actually pretty good right here. And what that does is, like I say, keeps your line moving from moving in heavy currents. I don't use them a lot because I don't fish a lot of heavy current scenarios like rivers and things like that. But when I do, those are my go-to weights. Now, I also take a look at the scenario too when I get there because actually, a river might not be moving that fast and things like that, and I can use my normal setups. But for fast moving currents and water, those are what I like to use right there. The second weight right here is just called a slide weight, which you just put your line through both sides of it and it just slides up and down like so. I don't use those a lot too. You can use those setups, especially you can put the line through the weight and then put a stopper at the end of it and then tie on your hook. And what's supposed to happen is it helps you get out there and get where you want to get, but it gives less resistance to the fish when they actually take the bait. They don't feel it that much, especially if you have your line engaged. So what they do is when a fish takes the bait, it just pulls it through and this really don't move that much and the fish don't feel a lot of resistance on it. I've had a little success with it. It does work. It's certain scenarios that I go into when I'm doing that, especially if I'm fishing heavy cover or things like that. So they also make them pretty flat too, which is called no roll sinkers, that you just put through one end and not the other one. They're real flat and they lay down good too. It's good for current and things like that, especially when you're fishing in areas that has current and a lot of cover and you really don't want it to get hung up. So they have no rolls flat sinkers too. The next weight that we're going to talk about is just, I like to call it my teardrop weight. It looks like a little teardrop right there. These are pretty inexpensive weights. A lot of people tie them at the end. This is pretty big. This is a 5 ounce right here. I don't like these weights because I don't like the big round and the eyelet right there for your line. It's actually kind of hard to tie and get a good knot on the end of that where it doesn't move around. But those are good for fishing in places that you want to get out pretty far and it doesn't have a lot of things to get hung up on. It's a pretty sandy bottom or sandy flat like that. Okay. And the last weight and my favorite weight that I like to use right here is called a pyramid weight. Now, these weights right here are my favorite. And I have a lot of different sizes of them, okay? I usually fish anywhere between a 2 ounce and a 5 ounce. And it just depends on what I am using and where I want to go. The heavier the weight, the farther I can cast. So if I want to cast really far out, if I'm fishing from the bank or something like that, and I want to cast really far out on my 12 and 10 foot rods, I'll put a 5 ounce weight on there and I can really cast that boy out real far. And it gives me a good heavy weight at the bottom so I know my bait's not going to go anywhere when it's being that far out too. Certain scenarios when I use a 2 or a 3 is I still want a good casting distance, but I don't need to get that far out there. I'll put on a 2 or a 3 and it still get me to where I want to get to. So my favorite, of course, is the pyramid weights. Like I said, those are my go-tos. any of them will work. What you need to do is just take a look and see how you want your setup to be for your line and hooks, and that'll determine your weights. Like I said, a lot of Carolina rigs and a lot of slider rigs will use the sliding weights right here. If you're fishing conditions that has a lot of current, you might want to go with a disc weight so they'll lay flat so the water will just run over it and it'll stay put. My favorite, of course, is the pyramid. So just look at different setups. You can Google them online and see pictures of them. And a lot of the pictures will have the different ways that work best for that scenario. So starting out, you can follow those examples. And then as you get more and more comfortable with it, you can start picking and choosing. Okay, you know what? I like this weight better for this situation, or I like this weight better for that situation. But these are 4 good ways to get you started out with. And that way, as you like to say, gain more experience and gain more knowledge, you can, decide which weight that you want to use for your best scenario. Thank you guys for watching again. And keep looking out for more episodes coming out. Like I said, this is going to be a 5-part series. And be sure to like and comment below. And if you have any questions and comment, put them down below for me, okay? And I'll be sure to answer you guys, and we can bounce some knowledge back and forth from each other. Thank you so much, and you guys have a great day.